Coach Karen Blair and Talayah Walker calling Jackets 95-90 win over number 18 Notre Dame. Coach, I will let you get started.
Yeah, I mean, what a great game that is, and I can't say enough to our fans. Thank you for all that came out. We've lived down the road a little bit in this, the non-conference season, and every time we come home, it's so welcoming. And I know there got to be a point in that fourth quarter where that energy coming from our crowd really helped us to get over the edge. But I can't say enough. I am so extremely proud of this group, and today they played together and they fought hard, and even when things got tough and we got down, they just put their heads down and they trusted the work, and they just kept making play after play after play after play. And I mean, this young lady here sitting next to me, I mean, Talayah was phenomenal. I mean, you guys have seen it all season long. She knows when the game's on the line, I have the utmost confidence and trust in her, and I'm going to put the ball in her hands, and I'm going to let her be great and make plays. And that's all she's continued to do. I mean, you see the 33 points that she had tonight, got a double-double with getting the 10 rebounds, and so I'm just so extremely proud.
Do you feel like when you went to a smaller lineup that the turnovers really cut down? I think you only had 4 turnovers in the second half, and that, of course, naturally, when you have fewer turnovers, you get a better chance of scoring. Was that a big factor for you?
Yeah,
today?
I mean, that's the thing. Naya has been so selfless in this. Like, we have moved Naya around from the 2, the 3, and the 4, and it just got to be a point in that game where I just went to her and said, hey, like, we need you against the zone. Are you comfortable with it? And she's so strong. Like, on the defensive end, I never worry about what her matchup's going to be. She can guard 1 through 5. She has proven that. In practice, in games. But, yeah, I mean, it was a big factor. I mean, she did a good job of getting herself to the high post. She got some low post touches. I mean, that fadeaway that she hit, it was a big shot, a very phenomenal shot. So it definitely helped us. It's one of the things we talked about going into this. If we had to go small, we would. And she also did a good job, I thought, of like 9. Prosper got a little heated up there for a little while. And I think when you can just kind of mix matchups and control the tempo a little bit, when she moved to the 4, we were able to do that.
Hey, y'all. I'm Megan Hall with USA Today. So, Coach, this question is for you. Obviously, a staple of Neil Ivy's teams are their defense, and I felt like that defense kind of gave you guys a little bit of trouble early on. Yeah. What did you feel like was the turning point in the game where you feel like, okay, now we can match up the way that we want to and kind of move forward? Yeah,
I think there just got to be a point where we put our head down and we started penetrating against the zone. I think Talayah had some early ones, like early on where she was getting herself into the paint and we were able to create some shots. And even late there, if you look at Erica Moon, coming down in transition, she got herself. And I think when you get those paint touches, it just gives you so much confidence. And that's what I told Erica. I mean, I thought she played a heck of a game. These last 2 games for us, she's been a real point guard that has led our program. And Erica is just a sophomore, so I can't say enough about her leadership. But that's what I think it was. It was like, again, we had talked about this, is we wanted to be aggressive. Like, that's what we needed to be, and that was how we were going to win this game. We couldn't let Notre Dame dictate. Like, Hannah's a phenomenal, right? She's a phenomenal defender. Their defense is solid, their zone and their man. But I think that relentlessness that we showed is what was the difference for us.
You played against a team that started 2 grad transfers, 2 seniors and a junior, and you had a bunch of sophomores out there. What did you feel like going into the game, facing a tough task like that, and what was the energy like for your team that brought you to where you are right now?
Yeah, I mean, this is what we've talked about. The schedule that we've played has prepared us for this moment. I mean, there is everything that we have seen, in the games prior to this. And that's what we just talked about, is it was about our self-belief. We had to believe in each other, and we had to, just like we said, it's like it was about being aggressive and taking charge out there. They weren't going to give it to us. We had to go out and make the plays. And I think when you look at that second half, how many players just stepped up in moments and just made big plays. And that's what we did consistently throughout that second half. And I think that was the biggest difference, of having that belief and that confidence, and not just taking them, but also just making them and making the plays at crucial times.
Talayah, this question is for you. I had to double check because I wanted to make sure I got these stats right. A double, 33, and I think that was 10. So that's some massive numbers that maybe there might be people across the country who might not be familiar with your game. And now you've kind of put yourself a little bit into the spotlight with this upset against Notre Dame. So what do you have to say to the people who may not be familiar, not only with your game, but with Georgia Tech as well?
Yeah, I mean, we've had a lot of transfers come in, and we've probably been overlooked by a lot of people, but we're just as aggressive, we're just as strong, and we're just as good as any other team out there. So if you don't know, now you know. Yeah.
Two-part question for you. How difficult was it for you to sit in that first half when you got into foul trouble and coach saving the fouls for you? And number two, what was your mindset going into that overtime when you took the floor?
Yeah, it was definitely hard. I was shaking in my boots, itching, and like just throwing a fit over there. But I know I had to stay calm and just cheer on my teammates and stay in the game. And I just kept telling myself that to stay in the game, stay in the course, telling my teammates that just stay solid and just ride the wave out, and the results will come.
Anything else? I'm good. All right.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
The foul line.
How about that? 20 out of 24 is looking pretty good for us. We were telling Snoop today was the day to hit 2 for 2. If she'd have done that, we might have just played the perfect game and we all could just go home. But see, we still were 1 for 2 at the end, so we still got room for growth, guys. So Talayah and I have been joking because I've been telling her this. I'm like, I need you to shoot it 20 times a game. So today we were walking up here and she said, did I shoot it? And I said, well, you got to 17, but you got to the foul line 14 times, so I'm pretty sure you had 20 shot attempts. So I think we accomplished that for sure.
I think we'd be negligent if we didn't mention Snoop. Double-double the hard way, rebounds and assists, and her interior passing to both Talayah and Foster were really pretty exceptional.
Yeah, I mean, this is what you talk about. Snoop on our team has, she comes from a winning program and has NCAA tournament experience. So I'm like, that senior leadership. And, I also am so proud of Kat. Like, this is the conversation I had with Kat today. I said, this is why you came to Georgia Tech. You came to Georgia Tech for these moments to play against ranked teams, to be able to showcase your game. And, and I thought she took that challenge on today. Hannah is not an easy mark by any stretch of the imagination, and she was able to chase her all around the court and do what she needed to do. But our seniors were phenomenal, and you're right. Like, Snoop does so many things for us when you talk about just being able to be a playmaker, the rebounding, the leading our break, and her and Kat also just give us so much energy. Like, that is what they do day in and day out. And, that's what you talk about. Erica and Talayah may be young as sophomores, but they've played a lot of minutes, and they've been in a lot of big games. So I'm like, I think that's why you see today the resiliency that came through with the experience that they have.
We'll do one more each.
Talayah, this question is for you. I guess, is there like maybe a word or sometimes songs pop into your head after a big win like this? So I guess I'm just asking, is there a word or a song that might describe today's win, and then why?
Well, while she's thinking about that, I will tell you in one of the timeouts, they started playing Eye of the Tiger from Survivor. And I might have broke a little bit. And I said, hey, this was my pump-up song in the locker room before games, just so you guys know. I don't know. I don't think this is Talayah's song, but in that moment, trying to keep it a little light as we were trying to breathe. But that worked for me.
Yeah, I guess just, not a word, but just like a long, deep breath. Just like, okay, just reflecting on the process and the tough games and, how many games have come really close. And now it's all finally coming together. So it makes sense now. So just taking that breath, I think that's how I can describe it.
Rob, close it out.
It's got to be a Taylor Swift, breathe song, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I'll find it later.
I imagine when you went out on the floor for the overtime that you probably felt, hey, we got this far. We can't let it get away now. Was that the thinking?
Yeah, we just all came together, stayed connected, and look, we got 5 more minutes. Just stay the course and keep the same level of focus that we've had the whole game. So.
Yeah, I felt like we had the momentum. It's like what Talayah and I talked about. I mean, she had that shot, and really it was her and Snoop battling each other for that last shot to even get the offensive rebound. So I knew when we went into that, the focus that they had and the momentum that they had and the togetherness that they were playing with, I was like, this is, it's our game. And as long as we stayed aggressive, and that's what we did early on. I think Snoop had maybe a big assist or something to start that overtime. And I was like, yep, here we are. This is Snoop doing Snoop things. But that was exactly the momentum plays that we needed.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you guys very much. Happy New Year, all.